thousands.
Imagine being one of 400 people of anything in the whole planet, and you're complaining that, oh, but they didn't pick me first. Sit down. That's kindergarten stuff. Sit down. When Kobe.
That's my thing.
Sometimes when it's a delay, it's because it was self-inflicted. Is what you want to blame everybody else.
Ooh,
but it's you. Can I get
you
some?
You should have thought about that before you took $140 million contract.
Nevertheless,
you need.
If I took an $800 million contract, I still need help. You want me to do everything?
Shut up and play.
Welcome back, everybody, to Spikes and Heels, where we're going to talk about football. We're women who love football. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Gwen.
And we have many, many topics to talk about. We're going to get into the first one, but I'm going to start by please reminding you to subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the whatever it is that you need to hit so that we can keep going, because YouTube will only show our videos if they see that people are liking it. So please hit the button. Okay.
All right. So what's going on with our team? So there was some rumbling with Alex last week.
Okay, go ahead.
I only have part of this story.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could take it off, but my understanding is he felt some type of way because I think the Skins are done with him. So I think it's coming out now that he felt some type of way.
So I don't think he felt some type of way. I think the media did what the media does and turns his words into something that is not. I think he was just basically saying, I don't think they expected me to come back from this. You know what I mean? I don't think he was saying like, they don't want me here and they abandoned me. I took it as they didn't expect me to come back from this, so they were kind of moving on. And then I came back and it threw a wrench in their plans, because his comment was basically, my comeback threw a wrench in their plans. I don't think he meant it like they don't want me here. He just says that they didn't expect him to come back from it. And I think the media took it and made it seem like he was saying, like, I threw a wrench in their plans. They didn't want me. No, I don't think it was like that.
Nobody knew he could come back from that. The first time, if you ask me. I would have made plans to move on from him as well. That's a business decision. That's not personal, because the few people that I know personally that know football, like been to the training camp, been in the building, stuff like that, say that he's very friendly with Alex, and he was crazy about Haskins.
He who?
That's right. He is Dan Snyder, the owner.
Oh, okay.
So now Rivera, I don't think is a Smith fan, but Snyder was. So that was a business decision, and I pray that he didn't get in his feelings about that, because I think anybody would have thought or felt the same way.
Yeah, and I think he did mean like he's just basically saying me coming back threw him off because they didn't think I was going to. That's how I took it. Right, it threw me off too. I think everybody was off because we were nervous when he stepped on that field for the first time. I was like, oh gosh.
Jesus. I was like, So yeah, but the Haskins thing was a flat bust too. So as a team going forward, looking at our team for the next year, I had a oomph moment yesterday. You know, even though we lost to the Buccaneers, okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are Super Bowl champions. They played us, then they played the Saints, then they played the Packers, then they beat the Chiefs. Out of all the teams that they played, we almost beat them.
We did the best. We were the biggest competition.
Exactly. When we did the best out of all those teams. So if we just had a little bit more, if we had another target to hit, or we had, better defenders in the backfield. We need one more target. Logan Thomas is a phenomenal tight end. They need to target him more. I feel like when Reed was back there, he was getting more attempts. But now Logan, every time I look up, Logan catching the ball, doing something, but I don't think they go to him enough. So I don't know if
he probably may not be open.
Open. That's what I'm about to say. I don't know if they cover him well. He's not good at making space. Because every position has a coach. So I will go to that tight end coach and go, you know, can you give me some film when I have bad days so I can see and go over that stuff and work on that stuff in the off season. That's what made TB. That's what I'm calling TB12. Such a phenomenal player.
Your favorite player.
My non-favorite player, because I've seen in the off season that dude go to work like it's a year round.
He never stops. He has a regiment. He seems like a very regimented person.
Yes, he does.
He don't just fly by the seat of his pants and do stuff willy-nilly like that.
So that's why I was like, I was impressed. I thought about it. I was like, wait a minute. Out of all the teams they played to get to the Super Bowl, we played them the hardest. We almost won that game. So I'm like, hey, we can only go up from here.
I agree.
If they just keep all the pieces together, I'm still astonished why they keep trying to talk to Sam Darnold. Like, what's going on in New York that's going to be better down here? I just want to know.
Like, they did not bring him here. Put Taylor Heineke or somebody's behind in there, and I think they're going to get rid of Alex. Unfortunately, I think
they're not going back to him.
I hope he goes somewhere and does very well. I really do. Nobody wishes him bad, but it just. I
want him to stop right here. I think you've made your point. I feel like every time you go on the field, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary unless you're going to go on back to the Chiefs and be coming off the bench behind Mahomes. Or maybe with the NFC teams, with the Bucks, or you're going to get picked up with the Seahawks or the Packers. You're not going to the Super Bowl.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, all the teams that can possibly be Super Bowl contenders have their quarterback in their situation locked, except for the Saints.
Exactly.
So you're not getting on them teams unless you could get on one of them teams as a backup. You can go. I just feel like he should call it a wrap right here.
So you don't think this long off season will help and his leg will be solidified?
I think I'm more worried about him as a person than his football career.
I agree.
Like, nothing on earth is worth your life. Sorry, no body, no career. It's worth that. Maybe if you're going to fall on the sword for one of your kids or maybe your spouse, but nothing on earth is worth that. I would call it a day, but I'm not a football player and I haven't dedicated the last 30 years of my life doing it. I'm just a spectator who loves to watch, and I can see he's a good dude. I really like him. Like, I was not an Alex Smith fan. I just became when he made that comeback, because do you know how much inside off them dudes on 60 Minutes, them doctors that can see every injury in the world said this dude came back like he was special ops.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, what? They was like, they have only seen it with special ops. So you know how much mental focus you have to do that.
You made a point. You was like, what more does he have to prove, or something you said. And I'm like, I wonder what his goal is or what his purpose is for wanting to come back, other than just not wanting to give up, like not wanting to leave. What is he trying to
accomplish? It got to be the Super Bowl, but you're not going to do it, dude. Live with it. I always wonder, what did Bruce Smith and Jim Kelly tell themselves now? Because them two people, them the only two people I can remember from that team, went 4 times in a row. And lost each time. Yep. And both of them finished their career without a Super Bowl ring. Charles Barkley was an outstanding basketball player, never got a ring. So that's funny, because when you watch Inside NBA, Kenny and Shaq be clowning a mess out of Chuck. Because he don't, out of all the basketball players sitting up on the panel, he's the only one that don't have a ring.
Man,
and he can't say anything. And I feel sorry for him in that moment, but God has given you a beautiful life. Sometimes the answer is no, and you have to push past and do the best you can, you know, with whatever career you have. I just don't want him to hurt himself. And I hope I'm not speaking into the unit, speaking into existence.
You would have to speak that one,
down. I want him to sit down.
Okay, now we need to talk about the whole Deshaun thing. We've been talking about Deshaun Watson for a couple of weeks now, and this past week we have learned that the Texans are basically saying they're not going to let him go. They're not going to trade him. And Gwen and I talked about this, and I said that is just like this is a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying. It's like slavery. It's like I own you. You may want to be free, but you belong to me.
Yes, Sabrina, we might have another Bernie Sanders situation because the Lions, he wanted out and they were like, no.
Girl, I don't want, you know what? And I understand we say this every week. It's business. I get it. But when you hold somebody against their will, that's like a hostage.
Come on. If you come to me as a coach and you got enough unction to say, I want out, your behind is gone. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get some picks for you, but you out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think the teams that need him are willing to give up that many. Plus, they don't have a lot of picks and trades themselves. You hear that the Jets want him, but he don't want to go there. Nope. I think Miami would be a perfect fit for him, but they have Tua, and they may not be willing to give up. Detroit the Texans want everything but the kitchen sink for him, and they ain't gonna get it. The mere fact that somebody has to pay him $1 million. Mm-hmm. Should be enough in itself. But I'll say I would give up 2 first-round draft picks for Deshaun.
Okay.
I would give up 1 and 2 for Deshaun. Because Miami got a couple of pieces. They were almost contenders. They were 1 win from making the playoffs. Because I think they finished 10-5, but the 3 teams in the AFC North were 11-5. So that's how they got pushed out. Mm-hmm. So I would, but yeah.
You said wait, I want to be clear. You would give up what for him?
I would give up a first and a second this year to get him. If I was whomever is trying to acquire him, the word is the little rumblings is he don't want to go to New York, the Jets.
Man, I wouldn't give up enough 1 and 2. I would give up a 1 and a 3.
That might not be enough. The Texans may not want that. So you got to remember, they like, we got him, you want him come. But if I was the front office, I would set him free. I mean, it's a business. If the dude don't want to play, he don't want to play. And you can't make him play. You just don't have to pay him if he don't play. Right. I wonder, can they sue him if he doesn't play? They obviously can't because Bernie Sanders, everybody go look up, because I had forgot the whole thing about that Bernie Sanders thing, but that's why he ended his career, because he was done. And the inside the office was like, they weren't going to trade him, and he was done playing football.
And you have to be real careful how you do this as a player, though, because remember how Le'Veon sat out with the Steelers almost a whole season, or maybe it was a whole season. He hasn't been the same since.
And came back looking like a bum.
See what I mean? You have to be real. When you put your foot in the sand or whatever, draw your line in the sand, you got to be ready to ride it out. And then if you get another chance, you got to do it, because if you don't,
because when he left, he was beast mode. Mm-hmm. And then he came back. I think he on the Jets.
He was. I don't even know if he's there anymore.
Oh my God. Yeah. So but when you take that season off, continue to play, and you keep your training up like you're playing. Mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. Once they wasn't playing, they go back to hanging with the homies and doing all the off-season stuff instead of treating it like this is still my regular season. I'm just not playing on Sundays. Mm-hmm. But Deshaun, I don't know. I feel sorry for him. I pray that they let him go, because you don't want someone to be unhappy. But at the same time, it's a business decision. Mm-hmm. But if a person doesn't want to play for me, and they coming to me about a problem and an issue with me, and this issue has been solidified and validated from former players to current players, I will meet him in the middle. You want out? Let me help you get out. Let me help you. Because he could just not play and throw them games, and then you stuck. Yeah, you still have to pay him.
But the Houston executives have proven they're not willing to do what's in the best interest of the player. They're just doing whatever they do. They don't care.
It's not like basketball. Basketball players have a little bit more freedom. Mm-hmm. This is what the problem with the NFL is. We discussed this. Remember them 32 owners get together and will lock down on anything. Look at the other issue we had a couple of years ago. So they don't want to give them that much power and that much rights, Mm-hmm. So NBA is a little different. They say, I want out, mm-hmm. And they get out. AD, Anthony Davis, wanted out of the Pelicans, went to the Lakers and already won a championship. You know, Kyrie, James Harden wanted out of Houston, and now he's with the Nets. This is my basketball, little 5
I'm
minute.
about to say, Gwen know that basketball. I'm sitting like, okay.
It's a close second, Sabrina, but he went to the Nets. Now the Nets are contenders in the East, so it's different. You know, I hate the fact that the owners in the NFL seem to have a little bit more control, you know, over that thing. But the word went around. They were like, y'all doing all this job banging. We ain't said we letting them go. We haven't got any officers worth letting them go. So what do? You keep
so that means the players held hostage in slavery, football slavery.
But do you keep them that don't? Do you keep somebody that don't want to stay with you though, Sabrina?
If you think in business, yeah, you do.
But he's not going to be productive, and you're going to waste $30 million to prove a point, huh?
That's what they do.
Oh, man. Now we're going to call this segment Why Ben?
Oh.
I don't know what the love or infatuation with Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers. Tomlin is a good dude. I heard he's a really good coach. But in my personal opinion, that don't mean a hill of beans to nobody. This time to sever ties with Ben. I'm sorry. You know.
Didn't it come out this week that they agreed for him to play one more year?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they have to fix that because that $41 million is a huge blow to that salary cap, and they're not going to be able to pay the Watt boys because one of the Watt brothers is due a huge contract, and it's somebody else. So it's going to be a huge hit to that salary cap. So they got to readjust that $41 million. He gonna minimum get $23 million. If they can get him under that, they would. He not worth $20 million if you ask me.
Not now. No.
But and then I heard through the grapevine that Juju ain't happy with the decision, and Juju a free agent.
Oh yeah.
If he could just make a little trip down I-95,
I would be so thrilled.
And we need another target.
If we had a McLaurin and Juju.
Done.
Listen,
I pray to God, football would be so good next year that we had. I mean, it's gonna be great anyway. But yeah, they say Juju ain't because Juju feel like I feel like he was the reason why they didn't go further because he can't keep up. And he do a lot of money. He's a free agent. He want to get paid.
I don't blame him.
But come on, boo, we got some cap space for you. Come on,
please come here. Do you know how happy I would be?
That's
how happy we would all be.
I'm sorry, Sabrina, cutting you off. That's who they need to be speaking to. Forget Sam Darnold. You need to be in Pittsburgh trying to coerce that Juju down here because we need another target.
That would be huge.
But in typical Washington football fashion, I haven't even heard a peep. I brought that up.
Right.
It would be a great fit for him.
That would be great if it came out tomorrow, but you know.
Yeah. I don't have the numbers. Yeah, but I don't understand the infatuation with Ben Roethlisberger. Do you, Sabrina?
And not at this point in his career. He needs it, like you said about Alex. It's time for him to hang it up. It's time for him to hang it up, but he's hanging on. What is it? It's something we'll never understand. It must be something we'll never understand. Just that camaraderie and that whole life. We'll never understand it clearly because they're just hanging on for dear life by a thread.
Maybe my focus off, but once I got 50 million and once I got that bag, how the young people say it now, once I got that bag and I done did the best I could do every morning and every year, your body aching a different place. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me 20 years of football crunches and punches and tackles and knockdowns doesn't make your body feel a certain way once you get past a certain age. I would want to leave this sport healthy. You know what I'm saying? And I did my best. I tried. He is already a Super Bowl champion. And he's definitely, did they win twice with Ben?
I want to say they did win twice now.
Yeah.
I want to say
he's definitely a Hall of Famer. What you looking for? You're not going to catch Tom. You're not going to catch him. He's too far ahead. You running out of years. And he got too many years. So you're going to be the best you are. You a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Let it go.
It depends on what your goal and your focus is. Like maybe he want to make some more money. Maybe he's going to miss the camaraderie. Maybe he's going to miss the travel.
About the money because he's taking less money to stay.
But if he don't play at all, then he ain't gonna get none.
You know how much money that dude get just by letting that money sit and get interest? And then you
ain't
can
nobody
do like
earning no interest nowadays. That's a whole nother discussion. But anyway.
Exactly. And now you can do endorsements. I'm gonna be honest with you. This might come from the hateration part of me. But I'm so tired of these dudes making all this money. It is ridiculous. The amount of money they make playing football.
I think that's hateration, because if it was us, we wouldn't hate it.
Sabrina, be honest with you. Unless I'm saving somebody's life, I don't need to make $40 million a year.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I think
unless I'm being impactful on somebody's life, like even making their life better or saving somebody's life. I'm totally against our athletes making these. Now, endorsements, people endorsement can pay you whatever amount of money they want to. Because back in the day, that's where their money came from, endorsements. It didn't come from their salary as a football player.
But why are endorsements okay, but the salary's not?
I guess because the company could pay you. I want you to represent my company, so I'm gonna pay you this money.
But these football teams are like companies, little.
I get it, but it's just different to me. You have a good point right there. I'm gonna have to think about that. That was a good point. Like, why do I feel like endorsements okay, but I don't know, Sabrina. It's just, I guess that's the part of me. I just,
you feel like it should be reserved. Out of hand. You feel like it should be reserved for firefighters and people like that.
School teachers. Doctors, nurses, people that save lives and they're impactful. You know what I mean? Not saying that, lawyers, even though they last.
How about mothers? No, I'm joking.
Oh, come on now. We should get a mama stipend. We should get a mama stipend.
I know the father like, yeah, right.
There's a man, girl, bankrupt. It ain't enough money on earth for what I done been through.
Goodness.
Woo, Jesus. God is good all the time. I ain't even playing in this moment. I'm just thinking about some stuff. Thank you.
Okay, let me pull her back from church.
Because I would have been in the jail, up under the jail, or in a mental institution had it not been for God on my side raising my kids.
Yeah, they need to have a mama stipend, a mother or a parent stipend. How about
Come on now. Oh, because fathers do their part too. Amen. But come on now. I ain't even playing with that thing, Sabrina.
Okay, so this next topic Gwen introduced, and I'm not sure what she's saying here. So she has told me that she thinks quarterbacks need thicker, tougher skins, and I'm like, help me with this one. Bless you.
Like I put on my teacher glasses for this one. It's getting serious. You ready?
Okay.
I'm tired of all this whining. Started with when he didn't win. Is this person fault? Is that person fault? Russell. This person fault. Everybody whining except for the one person that should have been whining with Breeze. Now that Tom done made it, everybody up in the raw. I want to get traded. I want this. I want out. And I'm not saying Deshaun don't have a valid reason for wanting out, but I'm saying it just feel like a lot of yang coming from these prima donnas. And Sabrina was like, well, I don't think they prima donnas. We know who a true prima donna. We're going to talk about him later. But I was like, okay, so I come off of prima donnas. They just a little sport. They need to get tough skin. Like even with the comment last week about Brady. And you was like, he keeping receipts. You should keep receipts because your whole life people been opposed to you. You came out of the 6th round, dude. You was a long shot from the beginning. You should have been known people was going to be against you. You don't need to keep receipts to throw it back on people. I feel like they become with social media and the TikTok and everybody and the Twitter. What somebody said, I'm not a face Twitter talker. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not on any of those platforms. But I feel like with all the media that they're getting exposed to now, everybody's complaining and whining. Shut up and play football.
Okay, let's put it in the real world because I don't know if I agree with you on this. Now,
shut up and play football, Sabrina. I had it coming. You blew that game, dude. You threw them interceptions.
We're gonna put it in the real world.
Come on now with it.
You on your job. You know you should earn a certain amount of money and they ain't paying you. Wait a minute. What you supposed to do? Say, oh, well, praise the Lord. No. Where's my money?
Sabrina, it's not about the money with these guys.
Wait. Now, you on your job. Here's another scenario. You need some help because you can't do it all. They expect you to do everything. Can I get some?
You should have thought about that before you took $140 million contract.
Nevertheless,
you need.
If I took an $800 million contract, I still need help. You want me to do everything?
Shut up and play. You threw them interceptions away. Every time I look up last year, he TikToking and pop locking with his wife. And I was like, no, you still play football. I'm sorry. And every time I look up discount double check commercials, you want a commercial with Mahomes, you selling life insurance, you selling paint, you selling ties. No, my whole thing is, Sabrina, it's football. Somebody got to lose. And you're going to lose. Don't keep pointing the finger. Do your part. I said it. I brought it up again. Yes, God forgive me. I said I was gonna let it die. I can't get over that part. He was a flat bust. And the minute it happened, I don't have no line. And you ain't had no line when the season started. You should have said something then. But now I hear he wants to be more involved in the draft selections. And I said, there you go, brother. Because didn't I bring that up a couple of shows ago? They gave him all that money, and their draft selections in Seattle have been horrible. They haven't backfilled. Legion of Boom's gone. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't backfilled those slots. They need another tight end. They had Jimmy Graham. He was a flat bust when he got. I mean, it was a lot. So they wasn't drafting because they couldn't afford to really get anybody because they gave all the money to Russell. So you should have known that was going to happen. Everybody has a bad year. You can't complain. All all I keep hearing from all of them.
Okay, so Russell Wilson to me has been a model citizen. Does he ever have a chance when he can open up his mouth and say, I'm not happy? Can he ever say, I'm not happy?
You're right about him. But it seemed like a lot this year. It seemed like it was all of them. It seemed like it was Russell. It was Aaron. It was just a lot. Okay, and then Wentz need not to say nothing because he done got a whole bunch of free money. You know what I'm saying? And haven't performed yet. So I feel like shut up and play.
I think that's your motto. I've heard you say that before. Just shut up and play. No, what you say is no crying in football. That's
exactly. You done giving these dudes you pay me $40 million. I'm putting masking tape on my mouth. And I'm gonna go out there every Sunday.
See, I disagree with that because that's like saying everybody has a price, and if you meet my price, I'm just going to
not say what I'm saying.
I'm not going to say anything ever.
Not ever, but you complaining about things and you threatening to leave, but you were part of the problem that started this ball to go downhill. That's what I'm saying. You didn't weigh the cost of these people paying you this much. I gotta bring it up. I don't want to bring it up, but that's one of the things I always respected about Tom Brady, because he was never the highest paid quarterback. In a couple of seasons, I heard he took less money so that they can keep certain people there. That was commendable. It don't hurt when your wife bringing in $50 million a year, but okay, you could do that. Why squabble over $3 or $4 million when you can give it to a person that's going to help you win?
Yeah.
So I feel like, so I'm not saying there's a price to shut me up. I'm just saying over a certain price, I feel like Russell can't do it now. You can't take all that money and then it's a problem. It was a problem when you took that money, because they wasn't going to be able to pay nobody but you for the first 2 years. And you knew that. Now we going into the third year. Some money is being released because these people coming out to contract, so it's a little bit more. But you should have kind of figured that was going to happen. All I'm saying. And speaking of Tom Brady, since I was just talking about him, now Odell trying to get in Tampa Bay.
Can you imagine Tom Brady having another weapon? And Odell is a huge one. Good golly, Mr. Molly. I hope that don't happen, because we already got to get past him now. Do you realize he's in our conference now?
He was I want to say something. He was a non-factor because he wasn't in it. This is why I said nobody in the NFC was going to win, because I thought it was either going to be, if Brady was still at the Patriots, it was either going to be the Patriots or the Chiefs. So when Brady left to Tampa Bay, I was like, the Chiefs still going to get it. So that's why I was so confident that the AFC was going to win the Super Bowl. But the I'd have been made a complete big old fool. You know what I'm saying? I get it wrong sometimes. I'll admit to that, But now Odell wants in to Tampa. Man,
Lord knows, I hope that ain't going to happen, but I can see it happen.
I think it is. He won a ring, Sabrina, because they accused, they said he cost the Giants that last one. When the last time the Giants went to the Super Bowl, they lost. They was on their way to the Super Bowl. They lost the game before they lost the title game because they accused Odell of throwing that boat party, inviting all the players. And
Oh, yeah.
They was all hungover.
Yeah.
And they accused him of that. So I think he wants to be vindicated. And who don't want a Super Bowl ring?
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
I think it's going to happen. I hope it don't.
That kind of ensures your path to Canton, you know. But if you don't have one, then you have to have this huge career. He haven't had that yet.
Not yet. He has some numbers building up, but he needs more time. He's got to be on the right team. Exactly. Otherwise, he can get lost in the
shuffle. And he's getting older every year. You got Juju, AB, you got McLaurin, you got all these youngers coming up behind. Diggs, man, got hands.
Yeah, I like Diggs a lot.
You got all these youngins coming up now, so it's like he might get lost in the shuffle just by getting older.
Yeah, and he has a whole lot of highlight plays, a whole lot of incredible catches, but you got to have them numbers.
I ain't been hearing his name called lately. But could you imagine?
No, I don't want to.
That would be AB and Odell. Then you got Gronk. Man, then you got Goodwin. Man.
Too much.
And Tom was willing to sacrifice to get them play. He the one that got them to pick up AB. And let this man go live with him. This the only man on earth that's been able to soothe this savage beast.
Yeah.
He must know how to play the harp or something.
You so silly.
I haven't heard a peep.
Nope.
The saga continues. Odell once in the Tampa. There'd be a fool not to take him.
I agree. He's coming off that big injury, though. That's something to keep in mind. But I think he's still going to be Odell, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good news. I was kind of worried for a minute because there had been some rumors, but my boy finally going to tie the knot.
Who is?
Aaron Rodgers got engaged during the Super Bowl weekend.
All right.
He's engaged to his now girlfriend, whatever the chick name is. He was dating Danica Patrick for a good little while. But now he's engaged. Now he's 37. So it's time for him to lay this down because you can't play football forever. And maybe he's smart. Maybe he was like, it won't be fair to have a family when I'm not home.
Because of all the traveling.
Exactly. So I won't always put it on the other thing. Everybody's so quick to go there. Maybe he thinks stuff through and he realized it's going to be too much. And I don't want all this burden to be on, one person, because those wives go through.
And what I appreciate about his fiance, I don't know a lot about her, but she says she doesn't know him as Aaron Rodgers. She says she thinks he's like a cute, nerdy person. Like he's into he's been the host of Jeopardy since Alex Trebek has died. One of those weeks or one of those days he was the host. And she just knows him as like this wordy, smart, nerdy type of person. That's who she fell in love with. So it's funny. It's good when people see you past your accomplishments and just see you. So I hope they do well. I hope they make it. So
yeah, I hope they do too. I think they will because he's doing it older. He's older. With age, things tend to be a little bit easier because you worked out all those. Yeah. So congratulations.
Okay.
Sabrina was a little reluctant about talking about this story, but I want to talk about it. And then I'm going to give Sabrina the floor because I've been talking. But so Terrell Owens, or Terrell, however you want to pronounce his name.
That man named Terrell, stop.
I know, but he want to be called. Don't ask me why.
His name Terrell. He from the country.
If you don't know the story, he was not a first, after he retired, he was not a first ballot. He didn't go on the first ballot into the Hall of Fame. He got in his feelings. They finally voted him in. He didn't attend. He had his speech. He accepted the jacket, but instead of going to Canton, he had his speech at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Now, Sabrina and I did our Super Bowl picks, and our Hall of Fame picks. Yeah. And one of Sabrina picks was Torrey Holt.
Yeah, well, he wasn't my pick. He was almost my pick, and I was like,
We were going back and forth between Wayne, Holt, and Megatron.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, no way Megatron a first-time ballot. He didn't win a Super Bowl. He got great numbers, but I don't think he's going to make it. Well, I'm not one of the 50 people that get the vote because they voted him in. Now, T.O. is back out there. Oh, that's not fair. Torrey Holt need to be upset. How come Megatron got in first ballot? Now, he in his feelings again because, again, he didn't go first ballot. Did he go fifth?
I don't know what ballot it was. It just wasn't first, and he was
wasn't first, and he was upset. So he is in this. Now this is the premier prima donna.
Oh,
this is a true. Say it again, Beanie.
Yeah, I ain't saying anything. I'm agreeing
with you. It's a true prima donna right here.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he sit his hind parts down somewhere. Ain't nobody thinking about you. You one of 389 people out of 8 billion people in the world to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. They have been over 25,000 football players. You are number what, 374 out of 25,000.
Imagine being one of 400 people of anything in the whole planet. And you're complaining that, oh, but they didn't pick me first. Sit down. That's kindergarten stuff. Sit down. Be quiet. You one of 400. Rejoice and be happy. And if somebody else don't get in, that's it. Let stuff work out.
It just blowing me. I never liked him because he was a Dallas fan anyway, to be honest. And it just blowing me because he kicking up all this dust. And then you trying to say Megatron. Megatron did have nothing. Calvin Johnson had nothing to do with him getting in first time. But then also the people that vote said they didn't really vote for T.O. the first time because of his off the field antics. And
see, a lot of, and even though people say that shouldn't count, character, personality, whether you a good teammate, all that stuff votes in, takes into account into whether you get in or not. So he is sometimes I think it's self-inflicted when it be delay. Oh, that was a word. Sometimes when it's a delay in life, it could be self-inflicted.
Come on now. Ooh, that was deep.
Pass the basket on that. Sometimes when it's a delay,
come on, that was deep, baby.
Look at that.
That was, say it one more time.
Sometimes when it's a delay, it's because it was self-inflicted. It's what you need. You want to blame everybody else?
Ooh,
but it's you.
Yes. Come on, baby. One more. I need that. One more, Sabrina.
I ain't going to say it no more. You should have got it the first 2-3 times.
Huh? Come on, baby.
Sometimes when it's a delay, it's because it's self-inflicted. It's something you doing. Stop pointing the finger. Look at yourself.
Come on now.
All right,
I'm blaming God and everybody else. What part did you play?
Mm-hmm.
Woo, that thing deep. Woo.
Huh?
Church all day.
You didn't know you was gonna get church on spikes in here. You thought you was gonna get football.
Yes, but yeah. So a couple of the people that voted when they went and asked, they were like, because he wasn't. They talked to their teammates. See, somebody, nobody. I think they're anonymous. But they are right. They reporters,
writers,
50 people. They're reporters, they're writers, they're in the industry. Nobody knows who these 50 people are. I don't think.
I thought that people knew that you know who the people are.
I think some of them are anonymous. That way you can't do what he did. You can't go to them and go, why didn't you? You know what I'm saying? I have to look it up. But nevertheless, they said it was his off the field antics. Now I get it. If you know T.O.'s story, it all makes sense why he liked this. You didn't pick me first. He grew up, this real quick, he grew up across the street. His mother and his father were in a different type of relationship. The father had one family across the street, and he lived in this house with his mother here. And the father never recognized him because he couldn't, because his mom was the side chick.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense, right?
Exactly why he acting out. Somebody needs to who the lady, the blessed beloved lady.
Oh, Iyanla.
She even had him on his show one time, trying to get him to look at the root of that thing he got in him, and that's where it started from. Could you imagine living across the street from your other parent, and he raising them kids but not raising you?
And he's right there.
He's always had a chick.
That makes sense why he's like that.
I know because I watched that, so I got the background on that part. So I get it. Let it go. Let it go, sweetheart. You are in the.
He said, sweetheart.
No, he need to let it go. You're in the Football Hall of Fame. You already in. Let Tory take up his own plight. And how do you make Calvin feel when you do that? Calvin is worthy of being in it. I didn't think it was going to be a first time because he didn't win a Super Bowl, but that's not always the case to get in the Hall of Fame. I'm waiting for them to put Sean Taylor in, because had he lived,
he's not going to be that in.
Exactly, because he didn't play enough years.
Right.
But that's what I'm waiting. That's who you all should be taking the stands full. If you ask me, if you want to take up plight or take up somebody's fight, do that. Change the rules that Sean can get in. Because had he stayed, had he lived, he definitely would have been.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So I'm tired of all this whining and all of this. They getting on my last. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's just not play. No, he retired. Go about your business.
Right.
Take up whatever, but he kicking up more dirt. Every year somebody get in, we gotta hear from this Bama complaining about what happened to him. Let it go, sweetheart. Let it go. Life will be so much easier if you just let it go. And so this is my last rant of the day, a non-football thing. Okay. So I want to pose this question because you watching enough sports, you can get it. I understand it was so tragic when Kobe Bryant died. It was very tragic. I'm not a Kobe fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. So the question came up. Now they on this new thing where they're trying. Everybody knows the NBA logo is Jerry West.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to. They started this campaign to get Kobe's image as the NBA thing. What do you think?
I don't think that would be bad. Sometimes things need to be updated. But if they didn't do Mike, why are they doing Kobe?
That's my thing.
Okay, yeah.
You can't. Kobe Kid's not better than Mike. Mike was. If you don't put the GOAT on the emblem, how can you jump over the GOAT and do Kobe? Right. I'm sorry he died. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sad thing. But if you're gonna put somebody's logo, you got to put the Jumpman logo up there. And if Nike own that, you can't use Nike because the lie is. Where Nike owned Jumpman, so we can't then use one of Jordan's other images.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not gonna put 6 times you won 6 times, and that's
how many times has Kobe won? I don't know.
4.
Okay.
Well. He won 2 with Shaq and 2 by 4. You can look it up while I'm thinking. I think Kobe is 1. If he's not 4, it's 5, but he's not on Mike. And everybody compared Kobe to being Mike-like. That was the person he emulated and looked up.
I do know that.
Exactly. So if you not gonna give it a Mike, you can't jump over Mike because Kobe had a tragic death.
Right.
I know Black Mamba and all that, but Mike is the GOAT of the NBA. Agree.
Yeah. If they're gonna change it, it should go to Mike or nobody.
And let him say, no, you could do Kobe.
Which he would.
And I haven't understood why they haven't changed it already because Jerry West was a great player, but he wasn't Michael Jordan.
Nope. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, for
Can't jump over Mike to get to Kobe.
And that's funny because I don't even know basketball as much as Gwen does. And I knew that. How you gonna skip past Michael? That's obvious to me, and I don't even follow. So no. Mm-mm.
All right, Sabrina. My heart goes out again, but I'll let you take over this part.
Okay, so just today, it was confirmed that Louis Nix, who was a former NFL player, was found dead in Florida. That's the second player in about 2-3 weeks that's been found dead somewhere, just missing. And apparently he had been missing for a couple days. His mother said that's not like him. We talk almost every day. So she put out a call for him, and they found his car in a pond, a retention pond near his home in Florida. So Gwen was saying she read that they found him in his apartment. I'm not sure if he was in the car or not. I don't know. But the point is the man is gone, and we don't know why.
29.
I wonder if, I guess that's their right. I almost wonder if football players have to give their brain over to science or something afterwards. It's just something ain't right.
A couple of them have signed up for that.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know.
I think Junior Seau signed up for that.
Okay.
If they are organ donors, they can get their brains.
Right. Clear. Yeah. Okay. Well,
it's just terrible.
Yeah, I just don't know what is going on. I'm sure as the time goes on, we'll find out more because this just happened. They just found him yesterday, Saturday, because we're taping this on Sunday. And so I guess the details aren't out yet, but I wonder what be going on with these players and what's going through their mind. Is it medical? Is it football side effects? Is it just he happens to be a football player and it happened and this has nothing to do with football? I don't know. But Lewis Nix, 29, he's gone. Vincent Jackson, they had his funeral, Vincent Jackson's funeral this week. So his family's going through it. And it's just like, we need to remember that football players are people. So we praise them. And then when they do bad, we get online and talk about them like a dog. We got to remember, like, these are people. And then when they have a bad day, the whole world is watching. Imagine having a bad day on your job and, you know, people go right in online. Sabrina stink. Gwen can't do nothing right. Look, they need to trade Gwen.
My family do that all right.
You so silly. But I'm saying, imagine that though. It must be hard. So we need to like remember that there are people too. And again, our hearts go out to his family, and we just hope that it was nothing sinister or foul about his passing. So
this is beyond a coincidence. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
At the rate that these brothers are checking out and the way they leave in this world, it is beyond a coincidence that football players have a higher suicide. It's like 10 times the rate of any other sport.
So you think it's
think about it. It's football players and it's professional wrestler.
All the impact.
And all the other things they do to get like this.
Good point. Good point.
It's a connection.
Good point.
Oh, it's a big, huge rumbling in Dallas over Dak because they go franchise tag him again.
It should be a limit on the number of times they can do that. This is getting ridiculous.
I think it is. I think it's 3.
Well, this is going to be the 3rd.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's slavery too. He probably want to go somewhere and I'm tagging you. That reminds me of animals. You brand and tag animal. Look at this car. Woo, and you put a tag on it. They are tagging these players like animals.
Think about it, Sabrina. So I know we both know somebody that went to the combine, but one of my son's best friends went to the combine.
Okay.
So I had an opportunity years ago to know somebody else that went. They said they oiled them up, like they make them stand there without their shirts on. They oiled them up with coconut oil, and this person was allergic to coconuts like myself. They oiled them up with coconut oil and all these liquid bombs, and then the scouts go down the line and be filling on them and measuring and all that stuff. Then they have to go through this rigorous workout. They got to run the 40. They got to jump. Right. They got to do the jump. They got to do the weight lift. It's like you selling stock. This needs to change. It's nowhere else in any other sport do they put their athletes do this. You watch them play, you pick them. You don't line them up like a meat market.
The more we talk about this, it makes more sense. It's like slavery. Let's see who's the best one. Let's feel them. This is wrong.
Yeah, and now it's they need to get away from that. They definitely do. It needs to be a turn. If you don't have enough tape on me, you just don't. I'm sorry.
And my thing is, why are you oiling them up? Something funny about that. I'm sure it has a reason, but don't be oiling them up and making them fun and
muscles pop, I guess. But they make them take their shirts off and they stand there and they oil them up.
I've heard that, but I'm saying, but why? It's something.
You can't see muscles from across the room.
It's something funny about that. I'm gonna leave that there, but
yeah, like I love football. I cannot imagine my life without it. But there needs to be some drastic changes. They need to get away from this stuff. They've been doing this stuff since the inception. It's time for some change. It was wrong then. You can't keep current over those bad habits. You just can't. I get it. Make them run. Make them work out. You want to see who the fastest. Okay, but oiling them up and putting them through all the.
And why this shirt got to be all? To me, that's nasty.
Sabrina,
it's like the male beauty patches. Run down the walkway and let me see your muscles and let me see. No, it's something funny about that. They need to somebody to investigate 2020 or somebody.
They need to change it. I'm ready for them to do a whole skip that part. Like you can make them run. I get it. Yeah. You want to know how fast they are. It's like have a trial, run them against each other. You know what I'm saying? And see who finished. But all that other stuff, yeah. So
if somebody know why they oil them up, please type
please tell us.
But that sounds like some suspicious stuff to me.
Yeah, they put coconut, and this one person is allergic to coconut. So he said he had highs for 2 weeks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But Dak getting paid 40 million. He's not worth 40 million.
Not and especially after that injury. And they're gonna tag him a third
They're
time.
gonna tag, because they have to decide by March the 11th. And they are so far from coming to an agreement. They was like, the only thing they can do is franchise tag him again.
And I know if somebody mentioned the tag in his shirt, he probably go off. He don't want to hear about no tags, no type of way.
But Sabrina, you're gonna have to explain to me a little bit more in detail, because he's still gonna be making, even with the franchise tag, he's gonna be getting like 25, 26 million. Isn't it 30 million?
I don't know. He's gonna be getting quite a bit of money. And
so he wants to get 40 million.
Right. Nah.
I would tag his hind parts too. He out of his mind. How you holding up for $40 million and you don't crack both of your ankles? And see, going back to the money thing, Sabrina. Come on.
Yeah.
30 million is enough for anybody.
Okay.
Be grateful.
Okay, yeah, I agree. But then playing not devil's advocate, but looking at it on the other side. Let's take it to the real world again. You at your job, you feel like you wanted a top 10 at your job and you need to be paid more money.
It happens to all of us. You put your head down and you bear, I still got paid. I still got a bonus. I still had health insurance. I had to wait the odds. Do I fuss, kick up dirt, and possibly lose my job? Or do I accept that God is blessing me? He gonna have my back and I take it. It happened to me, Sabrina.
So I brought it up to say, in the real world, we understand these things because it happens. It doesn't mean that you know that you're not worth that money. Sometimes we know we're worth the money that we're asking for. These people just ain't giving it.
Exactly. I would not be holding out for $10 million when I just cracked my ankle the year before. I would take it and be quiet.
But what about them other 2 years where he hadn't cracked his ankle?
He shouldn't have never took it then. It what's done is done. Let it go. Get healthy again so you can go somewhere else and demand the money you want. It happened to Kirk Cousins. What did he do? He left us, went to Minnesota.
All that money.
He had the highest amount of guaranteed money out of any contract. Yep. You know what I'm saying? What it was like 97 million.
It was like I remember 84. It was up. It was high up there.
Guaranteed money. Then you take a page out of Kirk Cousins' book. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You be quiet, you play, you leave. You play the best you can because I've got some deuces for y'all next year. So if Dak don't stay, they're gonna franchise tag him again and he leaves. Where you think he going to land, Sabrina? He coming here or the Saints. New Orleans is all in on Jameis too. I forgot to tell you that. Remember we were saying how Jameis not the answer? They not even going after quarterback. Sean Payton is going to get behind Jameis.
I hope to goodness I'm wrong, but I know I'm not going to say that on here. I think that's not a good idea. I'm going to leave it there.
On this earth or the next one?
Mm-hmm. I'll put it there. I'll leave it there because I could have said a whole lot more on that one.
Sean Payton said their future quarterback is already in the building.
They must be talking about Drew Brees because they
talking about the subject was if Brees was to retire, because he still hasn't said one way or the other. Or there's like a big vote, 60% people think he's going to retire, and then of course, who that nation wants him to stay. Obviously, he has proven them he's battle tested, But lately, he's been coming up short the past 3 years. I just think he should sit down, but. Sean Payton, when posed that question, said if Brees leaves, their future quarterback is already in the building. So their future starting quarterback is already in the building.
So Dak would not go there. I don't see him coming here, but you never know. I don't know. These are all these stories that remain to be seen.
But they come, and let me tell you why I think he probably will land here, because he's going to be on Get Back. And he's going to have two opportunities every year.
Would it be than your main rival?
And you got 2 opportunities every year to ram it to Jerry Jones.
Wow, that makes sense. You might be calling it.
They're going to franchise tag him one more year if they don't come up with a contract. And they don't want to get, like you said, with what he went through, the catastrophic injury. He had one, not as bad as Alex.
Right.
Because his was just his ankle. Alex was... the whole leg was broke 28 places. That was terrible. Anyway, but So they don't want to give him that money because you just broke your whole ankle. Your body was going east, your ankle was going west.
Mm-hmm.
So they like, you're not gonna be the same.
See,
but
I
he
just
still
kind of hate that though, because that just gives Jerry Jones a reason to be right. He was wrong for not giving Dak that money before. He deserved it before, I think.
he did.
And now he's like, well, can't give it to you that. That makes me mad a little bit, but
but now he's justified.
right.
But it's kind of Doc's fault too, Sabrina, because I'm gonna be honest, Doc was being greedy because they was almost close. He was holding out for another $1 million. Jerry wanted to give him something like 36, and Doc wanted 35.
Or 37.
Yeah.
Right.
You could have been had your contract, and you could have got made. Don't you do them sleep number commercials? I always see him laying in the bed. Get it that way. Can y'all give me $5 million to be y'all nationwide endorsed?
Make up that million.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of his fault because the last 2 times I remember he holding out for $1 million, $2 million. That's peanuts.
That's a good point.
He could have been had this contract and been done with it. And then he could be chillaxing right now because they still would have had to pay the brother because he was under contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they use that franchise tag to corral people to make them
Don't
stay.
use the word corral.
What other word would you like me to use?
Corral, but it makes me mad.
It ain't always done to the brothers.
Oh yeah, I know it's not a black thing.
Oh yeah,
it's a player thing.
Exactly, that's the thing. It no matter what color these players. This part is not about race.
Mm-mm.
This is a fundamental standard that they need to change in the National Football Association. Yep. It's time to come into the future. Mm-hmm. It was a story one point in time when Joe Montana wanted to leave San Francisco. The only rule was you couldn't go to no team within this division. Mm-hmm. That used to be in their contracts back in the day.
Yeah, because that's intel right there.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, Sabrina. We have been in this predicament many times before. Like Snyder doesn't know what to do when he got a lot of money available.
He's getting better though.
I would say, I think his circle around him has gotten better.
Correct.
Every organization, if I was to ever be a mogul or somebody like that, I would have a no person in my immediate circle. For every idea I wanted to do, this one person's job is to tell me no and to tell me why I shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm, that's good.
Because it'll keep you from making huge blunders and mistakes like that. At least it would have been brought to the table. And then I would make sure that person is different from me, different background. Mm-hmm. So if I was Caucasian, I'm gonna have me a black or brown person. Right. Now it's black and brown, gonna have me. I want to have somebody different. All totally different from the way that I think. I'm melancholy. I want somebody clerk. You know what I'm saying? So that this person can be no when it's a bad idea, and let me give you 3 reasons why.
Right.
Blah 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 blah, and then it would be up to me to decide. But I just feel like he has gotten better because his circle has changed. So this is another non-football week. We got several comments, but just keep tuning in because Sabrina and I we got plans on different shows. We're gonna keep the topics coming. As you can see, there's a plethora of football information out there to us to discuss and dissect.
Yes.
These decisions not going on where we have to get ready for the combine in about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
The combine is when they oil them up, but we were just talking about.
Let's hope because it's done. They have a COVID one this year, so it's gonna be totally different. I was told
they better not oil them up from home. I'm gonna be ticked off. In the living room, oiled up.
Oh my God, yes, Sabrina, it's crazy. They don't show that part, but that's what the person that actually participated told me they did. Mm-hmm. They lined them up and they oiled them up, and then it was crazy. But anyway, thank you for joining us. We look forward to talking to you. We look forward to talking about football and all. We had basketball a lot in this show today, but it's just because it was on my mind. And sometimes the words do converge when you can compare them and see how things are done differently in the NBA versus the NFL, the 2 top sports in the United States. So
some people would beg to differ. Some would throw baseball in there. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I'm Gwen.
I'm Sabrina.
And we just thank you and love you. Stay safe, stay blessed. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye-bye.